2 miles away. From the Lawrence Science Lab, the night watchman could call an ambulance. He rested quietly on my shoulders most of the way as I fought fatigue, sweating under his weight. Now and then he would say, "The only way to travel, let's do this more often, or giddy up." I returned home, only after he was settled into the intensive care unit at Herrick Hospital. That night the dream returned. Death reached out for Socrates. With a cry, I woke. Sat with him during the next day. He was asleep most of the time, but late in the afternoon he wanted to talk. "Okay, what happened?" "I found you lying there. Your heart had stopped, and you weren't breathing. I willed you to live. Remind me to put you in my will too." "What did you feel?" "That was the strange part, Soc. At first I felt energy course through me. I tried to give it to you. I had nearly given up, when... ... Never say die," he proclaimed. "Socrates, this is serious. Continue, I'm rooting for you. I can't wait to find out how it all came out." I grinned. "You know damn well how it came out. Your heart started beating again, but only after I stopped trying. That presence I once felt, it started your heartbeat." He nodded. "You were feeling it." It wasn't a question, but a statement. "Yes. That was a good lesson," he said, stretching gently. "A lesson. You had a heart attack, and it was a nice little lesson for me. That's how you see it." "Yes," he said. "And I hope you make good use of it. No matter how strong we appear, there is always a hidden weakness, which may be our ultimate undoing. House rules. For every strength there is a weakness, and vice versa. Of course, even as a child, my weakness has always been my heart. You, my young friend, have another kind of heart trouble." "I do." "Yes. You haven't yet opened your heart in a natural way, to bring your emotions to life in the way that you did last night. You've learned body control, and even some mind control, but your heart has not yet opened. Your goal is not invulnerability, but vulnerability to the world, to life, and therefore, to the presence you felt. Socrates, tell me about love. I want to understand it." He laughed softly. "It is not something to be understood, it can only be felt." "Well then, what about feeling?" "You see," he said, "you want to turn it into a mental concept. Just forget yourself and feel." I looked down at him, realizing the extent of his sacrifice, how he had trained with me, never holding back, even though he knew he had a heart condition, all just to keep my interest. My eyes filled with tears. "I do feel, Soc. ... Bullshit. Sorrow is not good enough." My shame turned to frustration. "You can be infuriating sometimes, you old wizard. What do you want from me, blood? Anger is not good enough," he intoned dramatically, pointing at me with his eyes popping out like an old-fashioned movie villain. "Socrates, you're completely loony," I laughed. "That's it, laughter is good enough." Socrates and I both laughed with delight. Then, chuckling softly, he fell asleep. I left quietly. When I came to visit the next morning, he appeared stronger. I took him to task right away. "Socrates, why did you persist in running with me, and, furthermore, doing all those leaps and bounds when you knew that they might kill you at any time? Why worry? Better to live until you die." "I am a warrior. My way is action," he said. "I am a teacher. I teach by example. Someday you two may teach others as I have shown you, then you'll understand that words are not enough. You too must teach by example, and only what you've realized through your own experience." Then he told me a story. A mother brought her young son to Mahatma Gandhi. She begged, "Please, Mahatma, tell my son to stop eating sugar." Gandhi paused, then said, "Bring your son back in 2 weeks." Puzzled, the woman thanked him, and said that she would do as he had asked. 2 weeks later, she returned with her son. Gandhi looked the Kolan youngster in the eye and said, "Stop eating sugar." Grateful but bewildered, the woman asked, "Why did you tell me to bring him back in 2 weeks? You could have told him the same thing then." Gandhi replied, 2 weeks ago, one was eating sugar. Dan, embody what you teach, and teach only what you have embodied. What would I teach other than gymnastics? Gymnastics is enough, as long as you use it as a medium for conveying more universal lessons, he said. Respect others. Give them what they want at first, and, perhaps eventually, A few of them will want what you want to give them. Be content to teach flips until someone asks for more. How will I know if they want something more? You'll know. But Socrates, are you sure I am destined to be a teacher? I don't feel like one. You appear to be headed in that direction. That brings me to something I've wanted to ask you for a long time. You often seem to read my thoughts, or to know my future. Will I someday have these kinds of powers? Upon hearing this, Sock reached over and clicked the TV on and started to watch cartoons. I clicked it back off. He turned to me inside. I was hoping you would completely bypass any fascination with powers. But now that it's come up, we might as well get it out of the way. All right, what do you want to know? Well, for starters, foretelling the future. You seem to be able to do it sometimes. Reading the future is based on realistic perception of the present. Don't be concerned about seeing the future until you can clearly see the present. Well, what about mind reading? I asked. Socrates sighed. What about it? You seem to be able to read my mind most of the time. Yes, as a matter of fact, he admitted, I do know what you're thinking most of the time. Your mind is easy to read, because it's written all over your face. I blushed. See what I mean? He laughed, pointing to my rouge complexion. And it doesn't take a magician to read faces. Poker players do it all the time. But what about real powers? He sat up in bed and said, special powers do in fact exist. But for the warrior, such things are completely beside the point. Don't be deluded. Happiness is the only power that counts. And you cannot attain happiness. It attains you, but only after you surrender everything else. Socrates seemed to grow weary. He gazed at me for a moment, as if making a decision. Then he spoke in a voice both gentle and firm, saying the words I had most feared. It's clear to me that you are still trapped, Dan, still searching somewhere else for happiness. So be it. You shall search until you tire of it altogether. You are to go away for a while. Seek what you must, and learn what you can. Then we shall see. My voice quavered with emotion. How long? His words jolted me. 9 or 10 years should be sufficient. I was terrified. Socrates, I am not really that interested in powers. I honestly understand what you've said. Please, let me stay with you. He closed his eyes and sighed. My young friend, have no fear. Your path will guide you. You cannot lose your way. But when can I see you again, Socrates? When your search is finished, really finished. When I become a warrior. A warrior is not something you become, Dan. It is something you either are, in this moment, or something you are not. The way itself creates the warrior. And now you must forget me altogether. Go, and come back radiant. I had grown to depend so much on his counsel, on his certainty. Still trembling, I turned and walked to the door. Then I looked one last time into those shining eyes. I'll do all that you've asked, Socrates, except one. I'll never forget you. I walked down the stairs, out into the city streets, and up the winding roads through campus into an uncertain future. I decided to move back to Los Angeles, my hometown. I took my old Valiant out of storage, and spent my last weekend in Berkeley packing for my departure. Thinking of Linda, I walked to the corner phone booth, and dialed the number of her new apartment.